Welcome, day one, Project Pantera. I'm going to give you a little background on the problem here. Ouch. Yeah, as you can see, the heads are off. You got a piston being zip tied up to the block over here. I'm going to see a little better with that light. But, yep, and that is truly the water jacket having been blown into. So, lots of carnage. So we'll be breaking into all that damage and the issues for this to be repaired. So let's do a little background here on what's happened with this project. The spring of 18, we had this motor all buttoned up. We were tuning the car. It was running actually really good. And about 1,000 miles into my tuning and just kind of feeling how the motor was running and everything, I was driving back across the state of Washington, and unfortunately the engine dropped the valve, which, you know, ended up with the chuck, you know, that was it. White smoke out the back. Unfortunately, I ended up spending probably a good whole day just towing the car back to Western Washington. And so here it sits now in my storage unit. And the goal here now is to get this project back up and running. The heads have been repaired. If you can probably, I'll try to post a picture of before and after, but these are the end result of the repair by DG Machine. They did actually a great job. They're over in Auburn. We should be ready to roll now. I've got hey, watch the door there. I've got the valve train mostly back together. Let's see, what do I need? I need to go get the cam replaced. The cam, I'm gonna guess, is pretty damaged. If you look at the piston here, you'll see, wow, yeah, it basically got flipped upside down. See if we can get that focused here. Come on. Okay, so now you can kind of see this piston. So I got it zip tied here on the end. I cannot get it out at this point. It's kind of oblong because it's been trashed so bad. But let's see if it'll get in the dark here. A little bit. As you can see, though, it punctured through the water jacket, so there's a lot of carnage inside here. And we're going to be eventually pulling this out at my buddy's shop, so we'll be able to inspect the whole thing. I do have a cam in there. I don't think the cams, I have a bad feeling the cab has not survived, so that'll be the next step, is getting a new one ordered from Comp. Originally it was custom designed for me based on the specs on the motor, so that'll have to be remedied. But we have a lot of parts coming in, should be flying in and delivered here soon, so in the next probably a couple days to a week, we'll get another video out here hopefully and show it being torn down, what's wrong with the motor itself, what happened. In fact, I can show you some of the other issues it had and kind of the damage that happened. The root cause ultimately turned out to be one of the valves I had, which I didn't realize were titanium. The Preston valve stems, one was steel, one was not. And the exhaust valves that were not essentially got just hammered on by the roller rockers. The roller, you can see the roller itself is just basically crushing them over and over, pounding them. And so let's take a look at that. Here are the intake valves, and you can see here, looking pretty good. No problems with these. These all actually survive no problem. But if you come over here to the exhaust valves, let's see if I can get that focused here. It just doesn't like to get that close, but you can see the concaveness of it. Here's a better one. This might actually be a bit, oh, there you go. Now you can see. Yep, that got hammered. And that's an exhaust valve. Ultimately, this one is the one that ended up trashing that cylinder, and that was it. The other ones were pretty much because of this concaveness of it. My lash was completely off, and inherently it got so bad the timing has obviously changed quite a bit at that point. So once the timing was done, then you start getting, I don't think I can see it, but you can see maybe witness marks on the piston, and it's kind of nasty anyway, so you won't be able to see it. But essentially there were witness marks on the piston where the pistons were touching, and enough of that hammering and the piston and the valve touching. Was that it? That was it. That end tip broke off, and now that valve is fused with the piston. Next in the game plan is to tear down that motor like I was talking about. So once this motor's torn down, I already have another motor. A friend from our club up here in the Pantera group actually found a 30k mile Mach 1 block with whole short block and everything. I'm gonna end up using that. I'll probably stud the mains. Let's see what else I can think of. I'll get rod bolts. The rod bolts will definitely be changed. That's kind of a common Cleveland issue with the stock rod bolts being kind of weak. So between those two, swapping over the stuff from this pan, the scraper, and all that good stuff, we should be back in business. So that's the next video coming up here. We'll show pulling this out, like I said, tearing it down, and then show you a little bit about the new motor, and we'll go from there. So thanks for following. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching.